In today's video, we're finally going to understand recording out of your camera with HDMI versus using USB-C to a hard drive. Let's get into it. Hi everyone, welcome to Pal to Tech. A question that I get asked all the time is what's the best way to record my video footage out of the camera, right, through HDMI and into either the computer or a hard drive or an external monitor. In other words, could I connect an HDMI cable, run it out of the camera, and then somehow connect it into a hard drive and record the footage that way? Unfortunately, the answer is you can't. Recording footage out of your camera requires an HDMI cable. There are three kinds of HDMI: HDMI regular, HDMI mini, and what Fuji uses, which is micro HDMI. Although your Fujifilm camera has both an HDMI port and a USB port, you can only record video out using the HDMI. And traditionally that's done by connecting a micro HDMI cable to the camera and then connecting the other end of the HDMI cable to a recordable external monitor. It has to record on the monitor. Now, the external monitor uses a standard SATA SSD that goes inside this housing right here. Once you have the external SSD in the housing, you put the housing right on the recordable monitor. And now when you turn your camera on, you will get a signal out of the HDMI cord and into the recordable monitor. And when you press record on the camera, the monitor will start to record as well. And you can keep shooting as long as you need to. There's no time limit with using this method. And once you're done, you stop recording, you take your SD drive out, and then you can go ahead and attach it to your computer using one of these cables, just like this, which has a standard USB-C connection on the other side of the cable. And then that plugs right into your laptop, just like this, and you can edit the footage and access it as if it were an external hard drive. Besides an unlimited record time and convenience, one of the biggest advantages to recording out of the camera and to an external recording monitor is that you can get 422 color chroma subsampling. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, I have an entire video on that very topic. I will have a link to it in the description down below. Okay, now what about using a regular hard drive like a Samsung T5? Is there some kind of magical cable that can connect out of the camera, maybe through the USB port, and then into the Samsung so that you could record directly to a hard drive? The answer is no, there's not. You cannot do it. You have to go out HDMI and into a device that can process the HDMI signal. I wish there were, but that's just the way it is. And so you're going to have to invest in a recordable monitor such as the Atomos Ninja 5. Now, there's one other thing you could consider doing, and that's picking up one of these USB capture cards. One end of them is where you plug your HDMI cable, right? So you would use a micro HDMI on one end, and then on the other end of the cable, it would be a regular HDMI. You would go out of the camera, okay, and into the HDMI port of the video capture device. The other side of it is a regular USB connection. You see that? And what this does, which is so great, is that it tells your computer, it more like fools your computer into thinking that your Fujifilm camera is a webcam. And some of these, like the Elgato Cam Link, the one that I'm holding right here, will capture 4K video. So now you've got your Fujifilm camera plugged into this, and you can open up software on your computer, such as Camtasia or maybe QuickTime or whatever you can use to capture incoming webcam feeds, and you could record the footage right from the camera straight into your laptop or desktop computer. There are huge price differences in these video capture cards, ranging over $100 down to maybe $10 or $20. I will have a link to a few of these that are compatible with Fujifilm cameras in the description down below this video. So to sum up, there is no shortcut that allows you to go out of your Fujifilm camera and into an SSD directly. You have to be using a recordable external monitor, or you need to be using a capture card going into a regular computer. Those are the ways to do it, and if budget is not an option for you, by far the best way to do it is to use a recordable external monitor, because using the monitor, you can control and have so many other options in your exposure, your color correction, your LUTs, and so forth. It's a wonderful device to have, again, if it's within your budget to use for whatever projects you're working on. Well, that's all for today. I hope you found this video helpful, or at least entertaining, and if you did, be sure to give it the like and subscribe. I will see all of you in a video again very soon. Take care.